You've seen me battered, bruised, but never broken. Through the fire, hope still spoken. There's a strength inside me that keeps me strong. So I'll keep pushing, I'll keep holding on. Through it all, I won't fall. I've got power, standing tall. Battered bruised, but not broken. I'm unshaken, still unshaken.
Welcome to season 9 of Battered Bruised, Not Broken. I am super excited that you are here with us tonight. Wherever you're tuning in from, go right ahead and just let us know in the comment section. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Welcome. I'm excited because guess what? I can't believe that we're at episode 5 already. Time is flying, but we are definitely having some fun. I am excited because yet again, we have another powerful woman in the room who is here tonight to share her story with us. I know you can't wait to hear what she has to share, and so can't I. So without holding her back any longer, let me just get ready to introduce her to you. None other than my guest for tonight. Help me to welcome to the stage tonight, none other than Edwina. Edwina, how are you? Welcome.
Woo, 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 woo. I'm loving the energy. I need to match that energy. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me today.
Yes. You are both welcome. Indeed, it's a pleasure. And so I know they're here, they're tuning in, and they're ready to hear your story. They can't wait to hear what you have to share with them. But before we get right into it, I want you to tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you do.
Oh my goodness, where do I start? I am Edwina Momoh. I'm a speaker, the founder of Break Out the Box. I'm a family woman. I've got 2 gorgeous little girls. So I'm a mummy. And I'm someone who I like to see women rise from falls and restrictions because I know what it's been like. And I help those high achieving women who've been emotionally exhausted. You know how it is when you're just tired, you're functioning, but you're hidden, you're hurting, but you want to be healed. So that's literally what I like to do. I help these women to rise with confidence, to be leaders through trauma-informed coaching. And I'm the author of the new book, Be Unveiled, The Hidden You, launching in October. And that's me. I've lived it, survived it, and I now want to help people like you be lifted up.
I love it. So you know what? I have to ask this question because you call a few roles there that you do. Where do you find the time to do it all? Where do you find the time?
Listen, I was speaking to you the other day, going, I don't know how I'm going to do school run. My children are like 4 and 3, and I've got like another 5, 6, 7, 8. I was like, oh, but you know what? We just get up every day and just go, I need to do this. I need to find the strength from up above and find the time. And there's something really key that I've been finding out: making time for me, making time for she. Because especially women, and I keep pointing to you, we know how to put everybody before us. And if we run dry, we end up in hospital, we collapse. That is not a good thing. So gotta put yourself first. Start off with that morning boost or devotion or exercise or whatever it is. Get that energy so you can help everybody else.
That's it. That's it right there. You gotta secure you first before you can able to help anyone else. And so, Edwina, you have a powerful story, and they want to hear your story here tonight. So I'm not going to hold them back any longer. But let's get started from the beginning. I want you to tell us where it all started for you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, where did it start? Oh my God, me, I'm like the strong one, the achiever, the one who showed up with a smile. There was like, Edwina, you love to smile. Is anything going on? And but I was one who was like silently suffering, you know. So my story starts off, I was silenced by grief, came up brought up in a family, two-parent family, I'm African descendant, firstborn, born and bred in London, UK. But my dad had blood cancer, leukemia. Didn't know what it was at the time, but I just knew he had a cancer of the blood. So I was the oldest. I mean, I still am. I'm the oldest with two younger brothers, and I had to rise up quick. But I also was a woman of faith, still a woman of faith, and I lost my dad at a very young age, and I got angry, and raised in a culture, not in a bad way, but it was this unseen thing of, you got to be quiet, don't be too loud, you can't be too educated, you may not get a man, that kind of things. Be you suppressing emotions, people pleasing, performing, and that silence followed me into adulthood, even into relationships where I was even lucky to survive an emotional abusive relationship where I escaped, and then motherhood, having a traumatic birth during COVID. And if there's anything about statistics of, Black mothers having birth, they don't really understand when we say that we're in pain. Can I have some? Can I have some gas? Can I have? They like, no, push a bit more. They don't understand that. And there's many Black women that are dying because of these things. And I had to literally scream, tell my partner, can you tell them I need something? So that was traumatic. The birth of how my daughter came forth. Oh, and dealing with that, and even my daughter being born through that, she had speech delay. So I've been dealing with a lot of things that have caused me to be silent, but I've just said, enough is enough. I can't break under pressure. One day I had to literally just cry and just say, I can't be broken by these things. I can't be bruised by these things. I need to start talking. And that's just a little bit of the story unraveling here today.
Wow. You said something there. You said that you had a traumatic birth with your daughter. Can you elaborate a bit more on that? And, just to educate those persons who may be tuning in, who may not even be aware that that's a thing, and so that we can have a better understanding.
Thank you. And again, I love the title, Battered Bruised but Not Broken. When you're giving birth, you have this, oh my God, I'm going to have the birth like this. I'm going to do this. You have it all planned out. I had it planned out, but my daughter didn't want to come out. So it was supposed to be a cesarean. So we went through they were checking my blood and the birth rate of my daughter. And at one point they couldn't hear anything. Soon I was like, what is wrong? Something has to be done. I don't feel right. In my spirit, I said, I don't feel right. Wait. I told my partner, go and tell them I don't feel right. When your spirit says something, when they finally came to check me, oh, you still haven't dilated, but we can't hear the beat of your, I said, please, whatever you need to do, do it now. Cut me open or whatever it is. And I just started to panic. They had to try and give me an epidural. They couldn't find the right nerve to put. I was tense. All I was doing was just like, God, get me through this. My child has to live. I said to my partner, if anything happens to me, because I actually thought I wouldn't survive. Anything happens to me, just make sure the baby's fine. And he was like, no, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. His faith wasn't as strong as mine. You know what I mean? I'm the prayer warrior, the one who would fight for everybody. But I was very vulnerable. I literally had to close my eyes and just literally say, God, take over. You're the one that gave me this child. You're the one that gave me the alarm bell in my spirit to say something's not right with my child, where I had to alert these people because they would just say, just stay there for a bit, and they've gone somewhere. And then when I was in pain, they're like, push through again, push through. I was like, no, I can't. Oh my goodness, I need some relief. I had to, it's only when tears were coming down my eye, I had to say, they were like, oh, you need, yes, I need pain relief. I don't want to be one of these women that's just going to push through and tear you know. What I noticed at that point, even after that, they tried to take me out of the hospital because I had a cesarean. I ended up having a C-section. They were, after 2 days, you need to leave the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. At that point, I had some housing issues where I could have been at the point where I could have been out on the streets. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. Nobody's gonna come and pick me up. I had to put my foot down. If I didn't do that, could have been homeless. Something could have been wrong with me up to this point. And they kept saying, nope, you're gonna leave. I'm like, when I'm gonna wait till the next person comes. I don't feel right. And something was wrong with the stitches, and during COVID, what happens during the birthing of the women who are going through their giving birth? At the point when you've just pushed out your child, your partner or your family would go through you through the doors to help soothe you. They told my partner at that point he couldn't go through. I cried. I didn't have any family around, anyone to, oh my God, you've got a baby. Oh my gosh, it's the most joyful. I cried. On that ward, I heard women crying. Nobody's here. Nobody could help me. We didn't have any support. So we had to fight for them to come in, our partners to come in, and only one person. And that was the only lifeline and God. And if it wasn't for I had to even put a complaint that these people did not give me the due care and diligence. So why am I saying this? Sometimes women, we just go, oh, I can't do anything. You fight the system. You tell them there was injustice. You find the name of that person that did you wrong and make sure they, what's that word? They make amends for what they've done so that it doesn't happen to anybody else. And the birthing affected my daughter. She had speech delay, so she was delayed developmentally because obviously the birth, I think it was when I was looking back at it, the birth, the she wasn't getting enough oxygen, so that was something that, again, if I didn't speak out and say something, but because I've got that teaching background, I literally put in the work with my child, prayed over her, spoke to her, put some. And today, glory to God, she is speaking. She was behind, she was this, she was not saying this, she wasn't comprehending. Through all of that, she's now speaking. We're still trying to find out if there's anything else possibly wrong and the help that she can get. But if it wasn't for God, if it wasn't for speaking out, if it wasn't staying unmuted, that's one of the things I say. If you need to be unveiled, you've got to take off the blinders. And somewhere in me being a child, somebody was like, you shouldn't talk. And I heard that voice. But at that point, I have to fight for my child. So if there's any women that are here going through things, motherhood, they're not getting the doctor's treatment, they're not getting pushed for it, fight for it. You are entitled to it. Who said you shouldn't get that? Who said at work you shouldn't be getting the roles and things you shouldn't? Who says you shouldn't be seen? So through that, my daughters now, and it's thank God they're going to sleep. You've been hearing their voices, and I champion it. Make sure you speak, my girls, and all to the women out there as well.
I'm smiling, but God is amazing because look at what the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for good. Because it got you into a position where you had to be in prayer consistently over your daughter. And so you developed your prayer life, it expanded there. And you also learn a lot more about that condition. So anyone else who may be experiencing that, know you have the information, you have the experience. You can now
Yes.
pull them out, you can assist them. And so it has been a blessing in disguise, I am sure. And so as we are talking now, you're sharing and you talked a little bit about, what you went through. I want to go back just a bit. You said it was around COVID time, and around COVID time, it was so many things because none of us had ever experienced anything like it. And we're in the midst of a pandemic. We don't understand what is even happening. And the people who are, trying to help along the way, they themselves are trying to understand as well. And so
Mm.
at what point were you able to kind of get a handle to adjust to those changes? Because of course that you said you were excited, you want to be a mom, and you were expecting you're going to have this beautiful, labor and everything. And here you
Yes.
are in the midst of COVID, in the midst of everything. So how were you able to adjust to the unknown?
Oh my God, this is where this word that comes in, fear. The whole thing about COVID was fear. Fear. You can't go out, you can't do this, you can't. It was like there was a pandemic of fear. The fear of you might touch somebody, the fear of you might get something from somebody, the fear. So that fear, I had to fight. And I had to fight the fear, even the fear of unknown. I was talking to somebody, I was like, oh my God, what? I had to literally go, no, 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 no. I have to speak to myself. Do you know what? I'm actually okay. I can do this. So if we've been bombarded with so many things, and up to now, they're saying that the children and people that have experienced certain things through that COVID, they are still going through. It's as if we don't know what we went through at that time, and we're only now unpacking it now. My daughter and her age group, the majority of those didn't get the schooling and things that they needed, and they're a bit behind emotionally, developmentally. So we're all, in a nutshell, checking ourselves. So this is why the word God gave me was to be unveiled, because when you're veiled, you're covered. What are the things that were covering us? Fear. What were the things? We were hesitant. We were being put on, we can't do things, we can't speak to family members, we can't. Our healing was masked, our healing was veiled. We were going through things up to today. We don't, they said abuse was the highest, because you can't complain, you can't go to call the police and the paramedics, and all those people were closed up. There was so many dark things. That's the only thing I can say were happening around that time, that only now people are now slowly opening. And as I was going through the journey of motherhood, I was unpacking how I was being brought up, how my mother and my father brought me up, how I want to bring up my daughter. I want her to be a vocal child. I need to make sure I deal with those hidden wounds. I need to make sure that healing isn't sexy. It's not glamorous at all. It's like pain is real. So I had to start journaling my truth. What is my fear? What is oh my God, what if this happens? What if, and the thing of what if it does happen? At least let it happen. That's the thing. The fear of the unknown is, oh my God, we don't know what's happening, but let it happen. Find tools and things to make you get through it. I always like say, make sure you're armed. Oh my God, it might rain, have an umbrella. Oh my gosh, it might be a bit too hot. Have a top that you can take off, that you can go out in layers. Don't just say, oh my gosh, it's gonna rain and I don't have a coat, I don't have an umbrella. Let's be armed, let's be ready. And that's why trauma informed practices and coaching is something that helps us and people to deal with these fears and these unknown things that are holding them back, and helps them to be safe, secure, and now living in the life they're supposed to live.
Beautiful, well said. And so, after that journey, now, what were some of the other encounters that you had as you went through your process of unfailing?
Oh my gosh. There was the, oh my gosh, I want to give up. God, why am I hidden? Why am I hidden? Why am I hidden, God? Have you ever felt like, oh my gosh, I'm talented. I've done this. I did so many things before motherhood. And then, oh my God, I'm a mom. It doesn't matter how many books you read, career woman, everything. When you're tasked with something that is unknown, or is something is a new territory, you need to equip yourself. I was asking myself some questions. Oh my God, is this it? Is this my life? Am I delayed? Am I denied? Am I? And through that journey, literally all I kept hearing is, you are not hidden because you've done anything wrong. Even though the pain and the suffering you went through, it is for a journey. It is for you to be stronger. It is for you to encourage yourself so you can encourage others. I was looking for people to help me. I was looking for support. I found some, but many weren't really. Some people were just like, just pray, or you get over it, you deal with it. And the thing with people who say that, if nobody has really walked in your journey, you don't really, sometimes you're walking on a road that has been unknown. But I started finding out about being unveiled, being taking the layers off, taking the fear off, taking the hesitancy off, taking the procrastination off. Have you ever been, you know what to do, you know how to do it, but you put it off? You're about to wake up and you know your alarm's about to go up, but you snooze and you snooze and you snooze. There are many of us snoozing our life, our purpose, the things we're supposed to be doing, because of procrastination and because of fear, because we think everything has to be perfect, because I'm not going to step up because of the fear of the unknown. But you know what? There is a time where you need to step out and make sure you have the right shoes, the right trainers, the right socks, the right equipment on, and be unveiled. Is all about taking off those hidden veils that stop you in a safe environment. And once you're in that safe environment, you can be vulnerable, you can let those things go. They will be like these hidden weights that will off you. And then now you can start flying.
Wow, I love that. Just take them off. Just take them off. Just take them off. Listen, so as you was, you said something that, you talked about there was a pandemic of fear. And I want to go back there a bit because you also talked about losing your dad at such a young age. And then, the whole the concept or the terminology that you use of pandemic of fear. In that process of losing your dad, how old were you at that time?
I was in my 20s. I think I was
Okay.
25. Yes,
Okay. And
25.
of course, again, you're heading into an unknown because based on what you shared, you being the eldest one, everybody obviously looking up to you. Talk to us a little bit about that. Was fear something as well that affected you in that journey?
Yes. When we think of fear, we just think of, oh my God, it's a spider, I'm scared. When my dad died, I didn't actually know I was a daddy's girl. um, until people were talking about, yeah, your dad always spoke about you. And I was like, oh, wow. I was very close with my dad. He was my counselor, my hero, the one I would go and talk to. God, dad, I want to go and do this. He'll be like, hey, okay. I want to be an accountant. Yeah. I want to be an air pilot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please just choose one. Let's choose one. Focus on it. And let's do it for a year or two, then before we change. Yeah. So I finally stuck with being a teacher, spoke with him. Yes, you can talk. You like to share things with people. But when my dad died, it was this comfort, security went. And then automatically I had to be the man of the house. Um, I took up that role to help my mum, to strengthen her, to be the strong one. That's where the strong one came in. I didn't understand that at the time, helping my mum to do the bills, making sure I could help pay the bills. But before that, I crashed. I literally crashed. And I literally stopped studying, was distraught with pain. I didn't know how to deal with it. This is the thing, when we have pain, sometimes we don't know how to deal with it. We cry. There's people that will cry. Some people go binge drinking. Some people go and party. Some people go and take drugs. Some people go and do sex, etc. Let's be real out here. Go shopping, whatever. I just went quiet. I went mute. My mom, when everybody was coming, said, Edwina, come on, you need to. Where's your faith? I was like, God, I was angry. But I think it came to a point where I had an encounter. I didn't know at the time I had an encounter. I had a dream. And I was like, God, take my life. Listen, I don't think you're real anymore. I've been doing all this, saying all these things, etc. And I literally had a dream that take my life. He said, if I take your life, all these other people are going to go with you, including your future children. I was like, I was shaken. Shake it. You have to use your mouth to speak. You need to heal. You need to. I wasn't somebody who was, what's that word? Inclined to have dreams. It would be, oh my gosh, I had a dream with myself and my boyfriend. We were going on holiday. Those dreams. This one was from God. If you go, other people are going with you. For some people, that could be the Damascus point where they were doing badness, and all of a sudden, God or the Elohim, the universe, whoever you want to say, I always say God and I say Jesus, comes down and gives you this encounter to say, you are special, you have a purpose, you can't go now. And that was my shake up, literally up to today. And my dad, the last conversation I had with my dad was, Edwina, finish what you started. Finish what you started. I made sure I went back. I did my teaching degree. I made sure I finished that. And I went through therapy. Again, our culture doesn't really understand about therapy. My mom and everybody was like, oh, I'm all right. It's me. In school, they offered it to me for free because I reached out. I went through that and it was so amazing. Just talking to somebody who doesn't know you, doesn't know your background, listens to you, and they pick up on certain things. Let's talk about that disappointment. Let's talk about the loss. Let's talk about why you feel that everybody's going to leave you now. Let's talk. I didn't know at that time it wasn't coined as trauma. So I would leave relationships, I would leave jobs, I would leave things before they left me. Trauma. That affected my behavior. because it wasn't dealt with until my baby. Oh my God! Remember, I said, "Oh my gosh, if my child goes," fear of loss came again at my birthing point. That fear was the fear of loss, which is the biggest first one, along with the fear of failure, which I had to start unpacking, and it led to procrastination. It led to hesitancy. Ooh, if I do this, I'm not good enough. Ooh, I'm not. I wasn't hearing my dad's voice, who was my encourager. I was hearing, mm, you may lose that. It's not gonna last. It's not for you. And that fear of the unknown, which we're still unpacking now from COVID, is a if you can understand, we have so many things at our disposal, but many people are still not rising up to do things. We've got computers, we've got YouTube, we've got things, and there's a lethargy. People are just like, what are you doing with your life? Mm, whatever, whatever. So it's that fear of the unknown. I'm just going to be comfortable and do what I know, and not reach out to be a leader, to reach out to be make a difference in this world because it's safe. And I want to help to break that fear and that uncomfortability, because that's where pioneers, change makers come.
That's it right there. That's it right there. You made some very great points there. You talked about, you said you had the fear loss, and then you also talked about, you would try to, you would remove it or you would stop it before it came. So you want to be the person. So you would already now fighting with that spirit of self sabotage. You
Yes.
started to self sabotage a lot because you were
Mm.
thinking that that's a way in which you can like guard, or like just guard yourself from any hurt, any pain. How were you able to overcome that? Because I know there's so many persons who are either dealing with it now or have dealt with it before and probably never even recognize it because it's so subtle. It can creep in
Mm.
so subtle, and you're thinking that you're literally just doing the right thing by protecting yourself, not understanding that you're really destroying. But by
Mm.
self-sabotaging, when God wants you to have these opportunities and to do certain things, and that you're blocking it because you're dealing with that fear of rejection.
Yes. Oh my gosh, even that one. There is self-rejection where we now, I don't think I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm not good enough. I'm not, because of the pain that we've encountered. This pain was pain that happened to me. And because of that, it was environmental, it was due to the circumstances, it was thrust upon me, but I kept pushing it back. I will deal with it later. If you're a spiritual person, you would pray or meditate or journal. You write it and you leave it there. You wouldn't think to take the next step. How is this affecting me? And I kept putting it off and procrastinating. And procrastinating is a big part of fear. And it even came up with, I'm not going to do XYZ because I need it to be perfect. So when it's 100% perfect, I'm going to do that. That's also fear. That's also fear. That's also fear. So the perfectionist out there, I'm not going to launch out. I'm not going to. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm dealing with fear again. Then there's the overthinking. Does this person like me? Is my partner really, really the one for me? Do they really love me? Maybe they don't. Maybe they're going to be like the ex who was saying all these things and manipulating me, and they were shouting at me and angry and giving emotional abuse. Maybe they're going to do all those things again. Those things started to creep into the relationship. But because I was, hey, that's a pattern. Once you start identifying patterns, these patterns can be from you or even from your mother. My mother, God bless her soul, she's an introvert. She doesn't talk much. I'm the one that's like, Mom, you need to talk. What's wrong? I'm very now discerning, so I can discern. Haven't heard from my friend in a while. I need to go. Where's my strong friends? I haven't spoken to her for a while. Let me go and, you're hiding. What's going on? Send me a message. Are you okay? I have friends that are like, Edwina, you've gone quiet. Is everything okay? I make sure that I tell some people, I go quiet, check on me. Therapy. I made sure there's something at work now where we have therapeutic sessions. Because of the work I do, it stemmed into n- people pleasing and then self-doubt. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is a form of violence. We think of violence when it is somebody hitting or punching you or stabbing you or whatever. This is a violence to ourselves. And I had to start exploring what is this thing about trauma informed? What is it about trauma informed? And it's basically the things that have happened, the pains and the hurts that have happened to you in your past, even from your childhood, that now stem to your adulthood, which now become blockages to you doing the things you want to do. And it creeps into your behavior, how you want to learn, how your emotions, how you deal with your emotions. So remember I said I would push things away. My mum did that. She'll push things to the back. That's where mental health issues come in. We don't want to talk. We don't want to be unveiled. And I understand that because you have to find a safe space. You have to find a safe person because we know we have said some things to certain people and they've gone and said things and used our story somewhere. But I'm using this now for power to find somebody, one person. If it needs to be your journal, let it be a journal. In London, we have something called talking therapy, where you can self-subscribe by going to the doctor. And I did that also while I was going through the aftermath of dealing, healing, and having my child, because I couldn't talk to my mom. I couldn't talk to everybody's scared. I was able to access it, but it was only at a certain point and it stopped at a certain point. And then after that, I had to find other routes, which is where I was looking at trauma informed practices. So you can't be mute. Everybody has something they're dealing with. But if you want it to keep, the only thing I can have an analogy. If you want it to be like a needle sticking at you at the most points of your life when you want to be enjoying, the points when you're sleeping, where you're supposed to be resting, the time when you're supposed to be enjoying, going for that promotion, getting that deal, start dealing with it. Can you? I have to put that as I'm very metaphorical as well. That is where we have to start saying, I need to find help. And it's okay to find help. And it's okay to not be strong. It's okay to go and get someone to allow you to unpack your feelings. And that's why I love the thing of unveil. We think of unveiling of a bride, da 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 da, da, and there's beauty. But sometimes we have to unveil the ugliness before we take the beauty. Unveil the ugliness, unveil the things that are stinking thinking, and then we can let the beauty seen. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I love that. Unveil the ugly as well. And you said something that that you would have decided to go to therapy, and you saw the importance of going and dealing with what you needed to deal with in therapy. How was the reaction of your family? Because, like you said, the Black culture, that therapy is really not is not really our thing. And so, how did they react when they found out that, hey, you're doing therapy now?
Do you know what? I think at that time, because we needed people to talk to, there was mixed feelings. Because I was like, this is really good. You should go and do it as well. No, 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 it's all right. It's okay for you. You go and do it. If you need it, you need to. You. I'm like, yeah, you had pregnancy, and I was like, no, but this is even helping me with other things. No, 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 it's all right. It's fine. It's okay. And I'm like, oh, this will help you before you get to the overload where everything starts mounting up in your brain like a volcano, where you have those angry rages, where you have those, I just want to fight someone, punch somebody. It helps you before you get to that stage where it becomes emotional, where it overload, where it becomes a mental health issue. And with my family, we majority of them don't talk. So I use that talking therapy now to use it in terms of my family. So how is things with you? Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Instead of just what's wrong with you, what's wrong that is hurting you? What's wrong that you would like to discuss? What's wrong? Because we're so good. What's wrong with you? Why are you talking to somebody? Why, is there anything? Listen, I need a safe space to speak. I need a safe space to talk to. I need somebody who's not going to judge me. I need somebody who's going to help me to and really listen. Because do you know what I found out? Sometimes there's actually people, you have to pay for people to really listen to you. Because people don't want to listen in this world. They don't have active listen. They want to listen and jump in. Why? Why? What's wrong with you? Why didn't you do that? They don't really want to listen. So if you have to pay for it or find the doctors or self-subscribing in that kind of way to get it, go for it. Now it seems like therapy is cool. You know what I mean? Still, some people are thinking it's not. It is for you. You're entitled to have your voice heard. You're entitled to have somebody listen to you and listen to you without jumping down and give you advice and let you speak. And the through therapy, I also went into coaching because at one point I thought therapy was like, oh, it's okay, we understand. I wanted some solutions. So I was like, are you not gonna talk to me about what you really want to do, Edwina? So I went to coaching because therapy is amazing. I don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But one fault of therapy is they can allow you to talk and 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 talk until and to find a solution. But with coaching, you can direct them. Okay, I know you've been talking for 5 minutes now. Let's go back and talk about how the impact of your father and loss. The impact of father and loss. Is it maybe been the reason? Tell us about your relationships. Oh yeah, this man, I left him. This man left me. This man. All right. Did you have any relationships that mirrored your father? So with coaching, you ask certain questions that come up, which you get through the therapy aspect, and you allow that person to now unpack them to be empowered to now get out of it. And through the trauma informed therapy and the coaching, I put that together to now help people not only be vulnerable and talk, but now get them to be empowered to not just sit down, but rise. And not just rise, be a leader, not just be a leader. Listen, this is my story. I was muted. I was quiet. I was hidden. I was silently suffering. I didn't think my voice could be. I didn't think that Mr. would come and find me. I didn't think that I would find anything, or a man will stay, or everything, good things will stay because of the fear of loss. But it does. It can, and it will for you. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And that segues right into my next question because tell us what was one of the most important things or that really stood out for you based on your journey of unveiling. You know, everything you learned, 'cause you kind of tapped on it there just now. But I want you to identify if you could pinpoint that one thing, because I know there's quite a lot of things that you gained from it. But if you could pinpoint that one thing that you think had the most impact as you unveiled and dealt with those things that you didn't even recognize were actually there.
Thank you. The thing is, when you're in pain, you tend to want to just suffer by yourself and be hidden. And it's okay. We have those times and those seasons, but you have to get up. And to be hidden means to be concealed and out of sight. There is a season where you're going to be out of sight, but to be unveiled means to have a covering removed so that you can be seen. And the whole point of being seen is to be seen as a masterpiece, not as your old stories, not as your old labels, not as the person who had so and so betray them. Oh, this one nearly died through childbirth. Or this one, no, this one nearly died from childbirth, but she's now telling women, if you're feeling pain in the hospital, please tell them to check you or to give you some relief. Ask them to check on you even more if you need to. You know, ask ask people for more help. Open your mouth, speak. And with the unveiling, it's not pretty, but it's needed. It's not glamorous, but it is like bathing. We all know we need to bath. Otherwise we are stinky, we are you know what I mean. This is what unveiling is. It's like taking off the dirt, you know. And depending on how you bath, you can bath with a shower, you can bath with a bucket, you can bath lying in the bath, whichever format of the way you want to have that unveiling done. But you're taking off and removing the layers that have made you not be seen by employers, or being seen by your partner, or being seen by society. Because you know, society has labels that they want to put on us. Whether you are a person of color, they might say you might be able to not be able to do this, or they see you as being strong, that they don't want to give you any what's that word, medical relief through the hospital, or you may be seen as not as intelligent as somebody, or not, or whatever it is. You must be unveiled. I want this to be this point where you think, I need to be unveiled, I need to be seen, I need to be helped, I need to be comforted, I need to be not broken, don't need to be bruised anymore, I don't need to be battered by life. Sometimes these battering and things can even come by not having money. When we don't have money, when we're in lack of love, of nurture and care, and the people around us, we start doing things that we should not be doing. We go into the hands of people we shouldn't be doing. We become people we're not supposed to be. So, one of the things I normally say is no more silence behind the smile. When you're becoming unveiled, that smile, that strength now turns into safety, and it allows you to speak. And you don't even have to be successful and suffer it. You can now let the titles, the trophies that have been covering trauma, you can address it, you can heal it, you can release it, you can reset it with certain tools. Journaling is a really good one. I have this reset tool with breathing and journaling, using affirmations or words of empowerment. I like to use ones for the Bible. At one point, there was a point where I was so overwhelmed I couldn't sleep. I was not sleeping. There's a big thing now with many people not being able to sleep. We go down, put our head down on the bed, and we're still awake. We're still thinking. We're still churning over certain things. And there was something that I kept reciting. I will lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, Lord, and make me dwell in safety. I will lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. I was finding certain things. It could be an affirmation for you, and reciting these until those words, which are very powerful, gave me the peace I needed. So I started rewiring the things that were self-sabotaging me and making them to be empowerment things. At one point, I was thinking, I don't think I would ever find love because I'm somebody who's outspoken, I'm educated, and I had to turn it around. Because I'm educated, because I'm outspoken, I will find a man that will love me for the me and the who I am, and I'll deserve that love that comes. We have to start rewiring these things. Once you unveil those disgusting things, those dirts, those boxes, those labels, those veils, you start rewiring. And that's why the coaching, the speaking to yourself in another voice. Because have you ever noticed you would hear a voice and it's either your mother, your father, your grandmother, somebody who might have been really critical, a teacher, somebody who said something and it affected you here, but it comes back as a voice coming back to you. You're ugly, you're big, you're fat, you're not good enough. Look at your big nose, your big head, You will never rise to anything. Those are not your voices. They are voices from somebody who came into your heart, your spirit, and embedded it there, and that has to be unveiled and taken out.
Wow, that's powerful. That is powerful indeed. And so as you were talking about, the things that really impacted you, and you shared quite a lot, what made you write your book? Because I know we're getting ready to close shortly, but I have to begin to unpack this before we go. You have a book and you told us the title, Unveiling. And tell us the title again. You said it's Unveiling You. What is it? Make sure I'm giving the
Yes,
right title.
yeah, it's called Be Unveiled, the
Be
Hidden You.
unveiled. Yes, be
Yeah.
unveiled the hidden you. And so what inspired you to write this book?
Wow. I came from the background of not having a voice as a young person, being muted, going through all the losses. When I was young, I would journal, I would write, and then I pushed it to the curb. And then I had my children, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I used to teach, I used to train, I used to speak on stages, I was visible. And then I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I had gave up my career, gave up. And then my old identity was lost under motherhood. And this happens for a lot of women. You see a lot of women shrink, they don't know who they are anymore because it's my children, my children, my children, my family, my partner, everybody else except for you get self-sacrifice and you self-neglect. And that is also a thing that we do, which is not very good. And Be Unveiled was uh, a therapy for me because I kept thinking, oh my God, am I delayed? Am I denied? Why aren't my goals happening? Yes, I'm a mom. Yes, I have to give time for them to grow up and everything. I started building up my faith again, my consciousness, my belief. I started asking a lot of questions about my identity, my calling. What am I called to do? What should I start using my voice for? And I was told a whisper. I started hearing whispers, which I know was God speaking, whispers nudging to my soul that you're not delayed, it's not a denial, and you're in incubation. So being unveiled is an incubation. Many people think, but when they've been hurt, they've been betrayed, something bad has happened to them, they just fall down, play dead, as they would say. Or they hold their sickness, their pain as a handbag and they clutch it and they always go around with it. No, there's a time when you drop it and it becomes an incubation, and this becomes an incubation of the hidden you. And you've always seen this hidden you, and it's a better you, the better version of you, the more healed, the more empowered version of you. But all it needs is you dropping those fears, you finding some tools to now say, "Do you know what? I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be the mom now that's going to start going after her dreams and telling my children, Mommy can't play with you for just for a little bit because she has to go for her dreams, so that you see me going for my dreams. You can also go for your dreams again. I'm going to speak out so you can speak out. Hubby, I got to do some things right now. So please give me a little bit of time." I started putting myself first because I heard I'm in incubation. When incubation comes, there comes a point where you now have to give birth. And the birthing of the new me is unfolding in such a way that I'm like, I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about my trauma. I'm talking about in an empowering way because I've overcome it. Have I totally healed from it? You never do, because my child is going to be maybe giving birth and that might come back to me. And I'm like, oh, let me tell my daughter, let me prepare my daughter for trauma and for pain because I know what I went through. So we never really get over it 100%, but we become more equipped to help other people, and we become more aware of the tools and things so we don't shrink back. So Unveiled is like, shine, baby. Take those layers off and let that hidden you be a leader. Because I found out that many people don't see themselves as leaders, but a leader is only somebody who's gone a few steps before somebody else, and they're people of influence. And that's what us women and you audience need to be now.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so, as you just shared on the book and what got you inspired about doing it, for those persons who are tuning in right now and those who may come to tune in later, can you tell us how we can get our hands on a copy for those persons who want to learn more, or or maybe those persons who may just want to follow you to learn more about what you have going on?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. I have Be Unveiled book at gmail.com. Always forget it. We'll probably put it up. Thank you so much. Be Unveiled book at gmail.com. If you would like me to speak, if you'd like me to coach, if you'd like me to train, if you'd like to get the book, let me know. I've also on LinkedIn, just Edwina Momoh. If you look for me, you'll be able to find me. And I'm even at, I think it's Edwina underscore the unveiled voice on TikTok and Instagram. Let's touch base. You heard me here. Let's touch base. I'll even, when the book's ready, I'll come back here and put the link here and see if you can get it. And because I was even trying to find if I can give you guys a free gift. Email me, just put free gift. Email me, contact me, bombard me, say free gift. I want to give you guys a reset tool, something that you can do for 10 minutes just to reset your mind in the beginning of the day to help you to start breaking procrastination, to stop delaying, to start dealing with the inner trauma, and help you to start getting some quick wins. If I can get you some quick wins, then come back, get that book, get some coaching.
Beautiful, beautiful. Listen, it has definitely been a pleasure having you here tonight. Just to hear your story and how impactful it is, and especially, I just love the terminology of unveiling, because you've spoken so many truths here tonight that so many persons can identify with. Even I myself, at some point, can identify with it. So I want to thank you for being transparent and for sharing from the heart. Just before we head out and before we get ready to go, if there be anything, maybe there, something that didn't get an opportunity to ask you here tonight, but you're like, ooh, I probably should have said that. I want to give you that opportunity to share those lasting words with our audience here tonight.
Oh my gosh. Well, as we're here to be battered and not broken, to the silent achievers, to the misunderstood leaders, to the ones who are overlooked, the ones who have delayed their dreams or feel their dreams are delayed. You don't have to be buried anymore. You can find a safe space, and it's time to peel back the layers one by one. Just take that one thing, that one area. And I just want to say it's time to be unveiled, because some of you have been too silent. You have been buried. Some of you have been overthinking. Some of you have been professional and you're bleeding. Some of you have said that the pain you've survived, you're holding like a handbag as your identity. Drop it. Don't let it hurt you anymore. Those women who've been battered by emotional abuse, by pains of systems. Sometimes we talk about how the system pains us, bruised by expectations. She feels she's behind. No more silence behind that smile. You can be successful. You can no longer be suffering. And this is your season to be unveiled. I want you to be unveiled. Take that veil off, like the masterpiece that you are. Let the world see you in your true identity. So the world, your family, the nation can now glean from you and also learn from you, because they know that they don't have to be battered. They don't need to be broken or bruised, but they can be unveiled. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you so much, Edwina, for sharing your story here tonight. It is beautifully well shared, and so timely for many. So I want to say thank you for the bottom of my heart. Those of you who are now tuning in, you've just heard from Edwina. She shared her story about Be Unveiled. She's talking about Be Unveiled. You want to get a copy of her book, and you're going to see her email address come on the screen in a short moment. Go right ahead, email her. Let her know you want to get a copy when it's ready. If you want to go ahead and follow her on LinkedIn, her information is right there. It's also in the chat as well. You can copy that and you can reach out to her. You can learn more about what she has going on and how you can be able to partner with her too as well. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in here tonight. It's indeed a pleasure having you. This is season 9, and you just heard from Edwina in episode 5. This is episode 5. Just a few more episodes to go before we wrap up this season, but it's been a pleasure, a great pleasure having you. Remember, we're back here next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, with another powerful woman who is going to be sharing her story about how she has been able to overcome. If you didn't get an opportunity to share this link with a friend, I want you to go right ahead and share it with your co-workers, share it with your next door neighbors, share it with your friends, your family, your loved ones. Just share. And if you have not subscribed to this channel as yet, then what are you waiting for? Go right ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can be kept abreast of everything that we have going on. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor having you here with us here tonight. And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode next week, Wednesday. Have a great one, guys. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
You've seen me battered, bruised, but never broken. Through the fire, hope still spoken. There's a strength inside me that keeps me strong. So I'll keep pushing, I'll keep holding on. Through it all, I won't fall. I've got power, standing tall. Battered, bruised, but not broken. I'm unshaken, feel unshaken.